Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I think that family is what makes me Australian. I have lots of family here and lots of history here, so I think that's what makes me Australian. What about you?
Well, I have DNA planted into this country, so through Aboriginal songline and generations and generations of Aboriginal people before me being here. So I can't help but to feel Australian naturally. On a social level, I feel Australian because I'm proud of the fact that we live in a place called Australia.
It's inclusive to me. I love Australia because it has a bit of everything, and I think that's one of our unique features to some other countries, I guess.
Well, I think what makes me Australian is I love a fair go.
Yeah.
I appreciate everybody, and I like different stories from all cultures and people. So.
Well, speaking as a migrant myself, I feel Australian just because I live here.
For me, as being Australian born, I think it's not a clearly defined culture, but I feel like for me growing up it was about having just freedom and opportunity.
I'm certainly proud to be Australian. I think it's the inclusion of everyone is my favourite part. What makes me Australian?
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to put it, Dennis, and I think that's exactly it. To be Australian in that term, it should be inclusive and anyone should be able to identify as an Australian. I hope that what makes you Australian can be accepting everyone, giving everyone a fair go, like you said.
How a lot of the Indigenous population would define themselves is perhaps that connection to country. So that can apply whether you're Indigenous or not. If you feel that connection to this country, I think you can feel Australian.
I think that's a good summary.
Why do Australians ask such personal questions when they do not know you very well or at all? So I think that, Australians are nosy, but I also think they're just inquisitive. I know myself, when I meet someone, I ask a series of questions. It's interesting though, when I used to live in Sydney, I guess I'd always ask the question, and we've discussed this before, what do you do for work? Whereas when I moved up to the coast, it changed because no one really cares what you do for work up here. It's just like, so who are you and where do you live?
I think people are very well intentioned. It might be a bit abrupt at times, but it's just a way of getting to know you. I don't know if they would always do it to other people, but down the street. But I think it's just, they see you from another country and they just want to know. They are curious. So I think it comes from a good place. I don't know if it always comes across as politely as it might do.
I know that I find out a lot about someone within 5 minutes. That's just me, but I think a lot of people are like that. And I think it's just our way of forming, I guess bonds with people, and you can often, you can find connections too.
Maybe Australians are not as worried about offending, and it's more acceptable to explore and find out about other people, and maybe there's no need to be offended, and perhaps that's the Australian way.
I think it's the Australian way, but I think not all cultures would do that, so I guess maybe we don't think of that.
I agree with you. We're a pack of big Dorries. And Dorry means like nosy, sticky pegs, sort of like, what's going on out there, sort of thing, because I'm always doing it myself. But no, we're very curious to know where you come from and who your family is. On an Aboriginal level, that's the first question that you're asked. It's who's your mob, where are you from?
What do I bring to a dinner party when told not to take anything? Should I bring my own wine and beers? That's a very good question.
Always take my own beers. That way you know that you're going to have enough for yourself.
Yeah, I feel that myself when I'm invited somewhere and they say, don't bring anything, and then you feel terrible because you come empty-handed.
I went last week to a birthday party, 75th birthday party. No presents, was made clear. And I was the only one that didn't have a present. Because I'm obedient.
I don't know about the latest ad where you always take favourites if you...
That's what exactly I was thinking.
Well, no.
The
Don't bring chocolate.
Yeah, no.
But you should do it.
Because you get too many of them at Christmas.
You do.
Yeah.
I'd probably say yes, you should take your own wine and beer, and if you don't drink, take your orange juice or whatever.
Yes, I agree. Yes. And then you might leave some behind and put it in the stash.
Leave it in my fridge.
What's the best place to meet new people in this area?
Do you want me to go?
Yeah, you can go.
I feel like maybe like exercise and gyms and things like that. Like I feel like we've got a lot of like, you know, active people in the area. So that's how I see. Because like, you know, there is pubs and clubs and all that sort of stuff. But I think like as a young person who's gone away and come back, I think sometimes there's not that many avenues for meeting young people in the area. So I find that a lot of people manage to do it by going to the gym.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree with that. There's a lot of, we've got a good sporting culture in the area, so getting involved in sports or community activity is certainly a strong point for people. I moved to the area 23 years ago, picked it out on the map and knew nobody. Now know nearly everybody around the area, but sport was certainly my first introduction to people, and then having children going to different things around here as well helped.
We do have a problem, we giggle too much.
Yeah, that's right.
Why do Australians put pineapple or peri-peri? What's peri-peri chicken?
It's like a chili chicken.
Oh, why do Australians put pineapple or peri-peri chicken, sometimes together, on pizzas?
On pizzas. I don't know.
Because
That's a stupid idea.
it isn't. It is. I don't know what peri-peri means.
I don't like pineapple in anything
Oh.
savoury. That's just a weird Australian aberration.
In the 70s.
Yep.
Before you were born?
No,
No.
I'm not that young.
Pineapple came in, and then we had, that was really big then,
Yeah.
to have dinner party where you would have pineapple and cheese and things like that. I like pineapple.
And they dress up pineapples like the whole
Yes,
pineapple
yes, yes.
to make it look like a mountain and things like that, with mashed potato and Devon.
Now, why do they do it? Oh, they just copied somebody in the first place. Yeah, that's what Australians do, copy.
True. Especially other cultures.
Yes, yes. That's why we're such a mixed bunch.
Yeah.
Why don't parents live with their children when they're
They
old?
probably don't want to.
It's just been the way it is, I guess. But I look at other cultures and I do question this myself. And I don't know. Maybe we like our space and we don't want to feel our parents encroaching. But I guess maybe as we age ourselves, we might change our view on that. I don't want to go to the aged care home.
Well, what happens in Aboriginal communities is that the elders are taken care of, so that so the old people actually live with the Aboriginal families.
There is a reliance on other services and other people providing for elder members of the family, I think.
I think Australians like to have space, and I think we're spoiled for space, and I think
Yes.
that's when, yeah, I think that, and you know, as families we encourage young people to go out and live in their, you know, go explore the world and go do their own thing. And I think that young people get used to that as well, and they don't want to have their parents living back with them.
We do have an ageing population as well. We've got more people in their senior years than we've got younger generations. So, you know, maybe that way of the young looking after the old is not going to be as sustainable.
Because I've met a couple of people recently that are buying homes and planning for their parents to come back if they have to when they're old, or to have them come back and live. So they might be getting a house with a granny flat or an extra space at the back. So I think on the whole though, most people and most parents probably don't want to go back and live with their kids as well, because they've got that, they're at that point in their life where they want to go off and they want to travel and they want to do their own thing.
Which Australian slang words do I need to know?
My wife will hate this one. Wasn't you? You were down the street there today, wasn't you?
Yeah, that's a really good one. Yeah, I reckon. And then also servo, Macca's,
Yep.
Arvo, Savo.
So let's clear those up. So servo,
Oh, yes.
service station.
Yep.
Arvo, this afternoon.
Yep.
Or afternoon.
Yep. I said Macca's.
Macca's, McDonald's.
Yep.
Skewy,
What's a skewy?
having a schooner.
That's not in
Schooner,
my
large beer.
Yeah.
What else have we got? Oh, we say so many. So it's-
Yeah, we say so many.
Why do you ask me what I'm having or cooking for dinner?
Oh, that's so easy for me because I'm a terrible cook. And I'm always looking for ideas and inspiration.
You might hear an idea from someone, like you say to your workmate, oh, what are you going to have for dinner? And they'll go, such and such. And you say, oh, that's a good idea, I might have that too.
And I think it's casual conversation. Everybody has dinner, so you can talk to anyone about what they're having for dinner. It doesn't really matter.
Maybe because we're such a multicultural society as well, and we can we might be having Mexican or Thai or Chinese or Italian, and we've got so much choice, whereas if you're from a particular culture in a particular
Yes.
country, you have a more restricted sort of
She's hit the nail on the
menu.
head.
Maybe some people find that question difficult. Perhaps they associate it with being judged or a certain lifestyle. But I think the question is not asked for any other reason than Australians find food interesting.
You know the reason.
Yeah,
You don't want me to ask because
you can answer.
I don't eat anything.
No, she's so fussy.
And if she
Don't
says
like that,
if
don't
she
like
says peas, I'll say
Okay, what should I wear to bar or pubs around this area?
Oh look, pair of boardies and a t-shirt, some thongs.
Thongs and a singlet and stubbies.
no. You go as you are.
Okay.
I think that is one of our better sides, isn't it? I think that you don't have to feel.
You've got to have some decorum though.
Well,
Some people just
I'm
don't
not
wear
suggesting
enough.
a swimsuit.
No, it's all pretty relaxed and
Yeah.
enjoy the relaxed atmosphere.
Do you know that I was nearly tossed out of the Hotel Australia
In Sydney.
in Sydney in about just after you were born, 1951.
No,
No,
I'm not that old. 66 then.
66. Oh, because I left you with Carmen. Stop it.